guys, today I thought I would share a couple random facts with you guys, and I found this website called Success.com, and in one of their articles they list about 70 to 80 random facts, which I read through them real fast and I thought that a lot of them were really interesting. So I'm just gonna read them off of this website, and I'll also have it linked down below in case you guys want to read it as well. And I'm just reading off of my computer right here. Alright, so number 1. Space smells like a combination of diesel fuel and barbecue. According to astronauts, the smell is caused by dying stars. A single strand of hair can hold up to 8 ounces of weight. That means that the typical person's full head of hair can support up to 12 tons. Cornell University scientists have created a functioning guitar the size of a human blood cell. Many oranges are green when they're ripe. Scientists remove their chlorophyll to make them more appealing to North American consumers. The average person walks the equivalent of 5 laps around the world during their lifetime. The chills you get when listening to music are caused by your brain releasing dopamine. Women constitute 70% of Iranian university science and engineering students. A British research study found that watching a horror film prior to viewing an abstract art enhances the enjoyment of the art for most people. In 2005, an Australian research institute published a study on the loss of teaspoons in the workplace. The average bolt of lightning contains enough energy to toast 100,000 pieces of bread. The scientific name for brain freeze is, sphenopalatine ganglioneuralgia. I'll have that right here because I don't know, I'm definitely not pronouncing that correctly. Researchers from Heidelberg University Hospital have determined it takes 6 minutes for alcohol to impact human brain cells. In 1992, 29,000 rubber ducks were lost at sea, and they are still being discovered in unexpected places. Globally, only 2% of population has green eyes. Great Britain briefly had a cones hotline in the early 1990s. It was a special number citizens could call if they saw traffic cones on the road for no reason. It was disbanded after 3 years because almost no one ever called it. 7 miles per hour. The first African American to win the Nobel Peace Prize was Ralph Bunche, who won in 1950 for his meditation work in Israel. He was also involved in the formation of the United Nations. Barbed wires was invented in 1845 and was largely responsible for putting cowboys out of business since it provided cheap and easy fencing. The first U.S. town to be completely lit by electric streetlights was Wabash, Indiana in 1880. It had a population of 320 at the time. Ocean liner stewardess Violet Jessop was on board during the 3 largest ship sinkings in history: the Titanic, the Britannic, and the Olympic. The first written instance of OMG that we know was in a letter to Winston Churchill in 1970. Charles Dickens had bookbinders print up a number of fake books for his library. Titles included Drowsy's Recollections of Nothing, Hansard's Guide to Refreshing Sleep, and Bowowdom, a poem. There's music made especially for cats. Apparently cats develop their musical taste soon after they're born, so cat music includes not only traditional human-made instruments, but also feeding noises, bird chirps, and purring noises. The designer of the Eiffel Tower built an apartment in the tower itself. Though he didn't live there, he did use it to entertain distinguished guests and scientists. Pablo Picasso carried a revolver loaded with blanks, which he would fire at whoever asked him what his work meant. In 2011, a woman paid $10,000 for a non-visible work of art from actor James Franco's Museum of Non-Visible Art. Ernest Wright's 1939 novel Gatsby does not contain the letter E. I don't know what that means. Oh, the novel does not contain the letter E. There are over 1,000 adaptations of Shakespeare's works. Toni Morrison was the first African American woman to receive a Nobel Prize. It was in recognition of her contributions to literature and poetry. British artist Willard Wiggin creates micro sculptures so small you need a microscope to see them. His work often sits in the eye of a sewing needle or on the head of a pin. He got to start at 5 years old making a house for ants because he thought they needed a place to live. Artist Ivan Albright was so meticulous he often worked with a single-haired brush and would spend the whole days working on 1 square inch of canvas. The only word that rhymes with purple is herbal, which means to limp awkwardly. Nothing rhymes with woman. I don't know about that. In 2012, the Smithsonian officially recognized video games as an art form and had an exhibit to comprehensively examine the evolution of video games as an artistic medium. Bananas are more effective in replenishing electrolytes than Gatorade. They also have serotonin and dopamine. An 8-week meditation course will cause the amygdala associated with fear and other emotions to shrink, while the prefrontal cortex associated with awareness, concentration, and decision-making will thicken. Phobophobia is the fear of having a phobia. Symptoms include dizziness, excessive sweating, increased heart rate, and faintness. Every time you lick a USPS stamp, you ingest about 10% of a calorie. British stamps, however, contain artist found that the most relaxing song ever is Weightless by the Marconi Union. It reduced anxiety by 65% in the average test subject. The average person will spend a total of 3,680 hours, or 153 days, searching for misplaced items. Keys, cell phones, sunglasses, and paperwork top the list of commonly lost items. Google processed 11.382 billion searches in September 2015. 56% of internet users have Googled themselves. Parents have started naming their children after Instagram filters. The most popular filter name was Lux, but there were even a few Kelvins. Talking to yourself makes your brain work more efficiently. At age 23, Evan Spiegel, the founder of Snapchat, is the world's youngest billionaire. 3 out of 4 Americans use an emoji in text messaging every single day. Blowing into Nintendo cartridges didn't actually make them work. In fact, the moisture in the breath corroded the metal prongs that connected the game cartridge to the console. The world's oldest socks were in fact designed to be worn with sandals. Made in Egypt sometime in the 4th or 5th century, the wool socks have 2 toes. Bob Marley gave credit for No Women, No Cry to Vincent Ford, a friend who ran a soup kitchen to ensure the royalty checks would keep it open. In 1939, the New York Times predicted that the television would fail because the average American family would not have enough time to sit around watching it. The American Film Institute cited Frankly My Dear, I Don't Give a Damn from 1939's Gone with the Wind, the best movie quote of all time. Contrary to its portrayal in Jurassic Park, the Tyrannosaurus Rex probably didn't roar. Instead, scientists believed it either hissed or rattled like a rattlesnake. During the first season of The French Prince of Bel-Air, showrunner Will Smith memorized the lines of everyone in the cast. If you rewatch, you can sometimes catch him lip-syncing other characters' lines. In the Vietnam protest rally scene in Forrest Gump, where Tom Hanks' mic is cut, what he actually says is, sometimes when people go to Vietnam, they go home to their mamas without any legs. Sometimes they don't go home at all. That's a bad thing. That's all I have to say about that. When Queen Elizabeth visited the Game of Thrones, she refused to sit in the Iron Throne because she is not allowed to sit on foreign thrones. One serving of kale has 1,180% of the daily recommended value of vitamin K. Vitamin K is named after the German word coagulation, which means blood clotting, because it plays an important role in the regulation of blood clots. The microwave was invented by accident when engineer Percy Spencer walked by a radar set and the candy bar in his pocket melted. The first food cooked by a microwave on purpose was popcorn. Due to a genetic defect, cats can't taste sweet things. A Peruvian bulldog named Otto holds the world record for skateboarding through the longest human tunnel. Nestle has sold over 200 flavors of Kit Kat bars in Japan, including soy sauce, creme brulee, green tea, and banana. The chocolate chip cookie was invented by Ruth Graves Wakeman evil scientist sort of way. Research has found that cats can change the pitch of their meows to sound more like crying babies and manipulate us into giving them food, attention, and so on. A frosted flake in the shape of Illinois sold on eBay for $1,350. Until 1964, chicken wings were considered a waste product and discarded. Chorizo